다다무 나라즈바 치료고도 조지 림지 태용도 라바냐가 통고래 라바냐가 강가로 담마셔네 리그래야 치다 너다 되시나 되게 리그래 다 조마야 예우 종노니 배찬한다 라바냐가 세야 되라 부모가
So
두시 두제나 남식이 봐도 팀고래
So now, at time of our death, that our four natural elements, they gradually dissolve into each other or dissolve into the laters. And at that time, along with it, there's also the dissolution of the rakpa or the gross, that 25, which are gross objects of substance. And but that is not that important for you. But most important will be if you are able to understand the 8 inner signs which happens. 8 inner signs. More detail about the 25 or the dissolution of 25 gross substance or objects that you can study by yourself. For instance, the first 5 sets are the like 5 skandhas.
이시가 된거 이시가 대 지두가 이시가 세야 지어리다 멜로다비 이시세야 인가부터 지두 다리성이 말아서 메시지 타지고 지자주어 라부라부지 모두 이시가 되어도 말해.
So and also like the 5 wisdom we say 5 prajas, and they are named after as the not the 5 wisdom as we are used to, that is the 5 wisdoms of enlightened beings, but 5 wisdom of the Shitu. Shi as I'll use the foundation, okay, which meant that at the present, our present time, we have the 5 identical, which looks quite identical, but wisdom, but which we have right now, and those also just dissolve.
지두 단다 간스게 람나레야 마주 군데 지두에서 그래. 지두 변의 치료야 신도도 그게 샘 참무들 지두가 죽었어 그래. 바도들 지두가 롱고서 그래. 지와련도야 지두가 죽었어 그래.
So she and tu as time, she tu, please get this two Tibetan term because it will come very frequently, and she I will be using as term as base meaning our present condition, okay, our present body, our present birth, our present death, and present birth, or the base I will use for that.
다 조지听到的现在这个也不是有啥说大的。
So remaining others we can just leave aside for the time being, but if you just know about the dissolution, how the 4 elements dissolve, that will be sufficient.
다 도망 알아서 왜 나르주 잡고 마이베 림베 파티니 시루가 있는데 도망 조사디 출팀을.
So in the case of a person who is undergoing a death, not the very sudden kind, say one who is facing in a kind of in normal way.
조사도 사출이 사바 추진도 말에 조가 단다 노반다라 제는 것에 남르시베 때 지구요래 다 살아감 사강 롱집에 너무 좋노고요래. 그러베 노버도 세로래. 제선 다 추강 세리 용고요래. 될 팀베 메다버래. 팀수도 매버린 로스그래.
So now remember that first dissolve the earth element into the water element. Then remember, they don't get confused with word dissolution. It does not mean that it dissolves earth element into the water element. Remember, it does not mean that at all. It means that our nuba, or the ability here to use the earth element, it ceases. So thus, as the earth elements function, ceases, so then the next element, which is water, it becomes clearer to us. It becomes more apparent.
Legi jowa sal jibe naba zodo di zugu dima jigo tsabo ya lome tunge be busu dobu naba korange simle be sawa la ne shabe zodo diriji busu dogu yo ngaya tenro singde ba lawa yuzu yuzu jia do de yungu yo re
So
ngaran zu de ne be so shi shi do ma pong chu ru ru ke do naba me ba do shi naba di o diriji cha do yo re.
when the sick person loses his ability to use the earth element, at that time, that when he loses his part used earth element, right? When he loses the power or the ability to use earth element, then he feels as if drowning or being pressed under something heavy or falling down underneath, and you can, as an outer sign, you would even see that he's losing the control, looking more relaxed, and also there's certain changes in physiologically that looking almost like getting a little smaller in size and so on, you know, that you can see a certain change.
Did never korange simle shaya de la mi ge de tonga yo ma re di simle shaya de la be chug no sha ni chur bu ji chur nu de be mi ju no de sha wi yo re.
So control, we may also use word control when you lose control of earth element, okay, or ability to use or control. Now we say appears to him. Of course, we do not mean visually, right? That's what appears to his mind, that a mirage-like vision appears to his mind, not to his sight.
Jikse da ali da dong bu de da dong bu mi ju no wa sha da dong bu je.
So
Da
this
chu de ya ting zhe be gu du ani bi che lo chi gi ne zugu de ye be ji cha da chu se da ka chu de de chu ri su do de do ma gam ru me de ji yo re.
So this is the first sign, the mirage-like, and second, that when his control over the water elements or its nibba or the potential, when he loses, then as the fluids inside his body, like the blood and so on, or the saliva of his mouth, then there is certain dryness and a little decrease in the quantity you might notice.
Da ge che ya de nga zu sang do ya de na da de ro na da de ne ba ko le sim la de ge mi ju chu no sha de ba de pa ye ne do je be zo hu qing xin ge do no sha ge yo re.
So, but the most important that to that dying person has the mental vision of the smoke-like, the bluish, there's a little bit smoke-like to himself.
Da chu me le ting de ga la me da de bu de on de zhe de ya de yong gu yo re ne ba zhe gang ba la ba ku tu ma chang bu cha ni zhe de ya ni ga de yong gu re.
And next, when the water dissolved into the fire, then the old heat, they also gradually center towards his heart or that dying person's heart.
No ge da de la sim bu mi shi ge no wa sha re ma mi de re ka no mi shi ya se re da na gong de ji na de ya za de bu gang bu de ji le mi ra dong de do ru dong na an ne cha chu ma chu jen ru da de yi su de ji sha se re.
It is said the inner sign which he feels is like the burnt husk they've flown in a dark spot or dark room. Or also say the vision of the fire birds. We do
쇼마르웨게치 페르노게치 용어데 전하고
Firebird, oh, sorry, fireflies, right? We have seen, do we have those flies around? Yes, sir.
팀 망고 예시데 고 망고 페르자마 추르체네 아니 코타 림부 이시 메디 세보요 단대방에 도마 중앙서 주도자용도 모델라 쉐딘도 고다 나주 용디 사이루스 사루드 마바오 용디자는 단 르바 마무 지금 해동돼 있는 신화생의 동고여 있는 섬 마용데 말에 모델에 모델 망고지 신의 요리라가 마라보 용고 라실은 부모부 시라요서 배드마 줄줄줄줄줄줄로 되기도 디 나와대 송고요 심부 나와서야디 심부 미실게 나와죠 데리다 심부 미실다 다맨 나갈 떨어져면 어지고리 더 데리지 실라마 줄줄줄줄 샤비요
Fireflies like vision. In the text it says, so fireflies, as you have seen around, I haven't seen in this country, but I've seen when I was coming for the exile myself, when I was coming for exile, and while I was trying to get down towards Bomdila from a distance, I saw lots of fireflies in the forest. From the distance, I thought somebody is just trying to have a break with the evening supper or something like that. And when I got closer, to my surprise, it was that flies and lots of them. So in short, that either like that kind of vision or the burnt husk thrown in the middle of a dark room. That kind of vision, mental vision appears to that dying person.
디디 내가게 우드베 시부지 찌마체 파도야 쇼 침부 양호야 시부랑 매해지기베 우 말부 찌마체 동거래.
So at that time, the dying person breathed very rough, that the quantity he breathes out are quite forceful, and what he breathes in are the lot less.
단 좋아 룽을 팀베 고디 아니 베 마미 달라라 바르와다 보서 마미 세부지 카가 라바데베 소로 지게 세딩이 샤마도 우조 동고요 말에 세부지 샤비요.
So when the elements dissolving into the wind, then in the Tibetan it says that the burning of a light in an undisturbed spot, that the yellowish kind of vision.
지lok에 다텔라 우드 체노다 우동야요 말이 우 찌마 추네 우바 조르다.
So to the outside, then that breathing hardness has ceased, and now that he has stopped breathing.
다데네 롱데 나시를 팀베발라 나시 지치도 리베리베리 제가 노체 토수 외세다 제가 샤고 인자 나시 노월 팀베 노월 랑기 뒤서 아니 왜노 까르부시야 자통 통시 샤그래.
So now when the wind finally dissolved into the consciousness, then as the consciousness has a few consecutive dissolution, like for instance, sequential, like the now or the appearing mind, when it dissolved in the appearing mind, then the whitish vision.
다데미 일레샤 데버 다츠 일레샤 마도미 동고마이 미다게 사출레 틴드르 미 할라레 비치네 세보라 메바 미르 비차 차르 다다나 우체 찬로아 다가니 아니베 일레베 까르부샤네 자통 통시 샤비요레.
So remember, the visions we are talking here are all mental, not the visual. The visual sight he must have lost even when we are just approaching the dissolution of the earth into the water. That time vision has already gone real blurred. So that's that when this becomes the appearing mind, at this point, then the whitish vision mentally.
다데네 외자통통 통야기베 일샤데 심코에발라니 메만하랑 지게 쇼텔에 중어지게 메만하랑 통야지 샤비요레. 심라.
that mind which apprehends something whitish, that too disappears or they vanishes, and there comes even weaker, that gets even weaker and little reddish. Within the state of that redness, then all of a sudden that or within that state, then all of a sudden there's dark. Then the initial that one could remember that the onset of a darkness, but then up the next moment one does not even is in the orient to realize the darkness. It's just almost like faint. So blackness, it is of the two fraction. The former one, that with memory of the or recollection of, with orientation of memory, that being in a state of black, and later that without even that sense of realizing being in dark. Then the darkness fades. The darkness fades, and that there's nothing, the vacuity, and nothing appears, just sense of a vacuity. That is the vessel or the clear light, named after as Mother Clear Light. So we had it since the beginningless time, that every time we have encountered our death, that as it appeared, every single death we have faced so far, so named after as the Mother Clear Light, because of being senior, that being always being there whenever we encounter the death. So every time we have encountered the death or faced the death so far, that all those 8 have come sequentially, and but we haven't been able to recognize that. Now those who have the understanding of emptiness, that that vacuity there and this emptiness, empty, as they being quite resemblance, and then those who are oriented in the apprehension of emptiness, then that can link it with that vacuity or that emptiness. And so that's why, that understanding of emptiness is also named as the sun clear light. So those 8, like mirage light, this smoke color light, fireflies light, then the undisturbed light, and then the whiteness, then the redness, and then darkness, then the vacuity or clear light, that they all, 8 of them, come sequentially. Amongst the beings of 6 realms, the death amongst the devas, they do not have those 8 signs.
냐바시 손에 다주 제부디 샤그마레.
Whereas also the death amongst the hell denizens, they do not have those signs.
종아시 림베 티야 요마레.
Because there's no gradual or sequential dissolution of the 8 elements.
소 징오디오 르베 식디가르베 차 로드가르베 수 도인남도베 온복고 청와 징오레 파신르디오 거래 예르고레 로요마레.
That when they appear or when they take the birth, they come like more out of transformation. They're just right there with the complete form, and when they die, their dead body is not there too. They just disappear.
먼저 자물림베 미네 개바 너무 차게 믿어서 주시래. 하장게 소야고 나갈레 페리데가 소고레 허체 님만다고 말에 메로야요 말에 되게 주시 인자 신의 다제 샤야요 말에.
So when the early evolution of this world, then the earliest human, they didn't have the 8 signs either because of their birth was out of transformation.
되네 리메 망이지 런조용아 인자 다 니지 감초다 대바치는 시디오던데 셔야 돼요레. 상하게 냐네지게 대요 어디레 니지 감초데 가랑 수수고도데 하게 냐네지게 대 야슈디레.
So then gradually, as we have stepped, gradually there has been an evolution into the taking birth through the womb, and nurture through the womb and taking birth. Then the birth from the womb with the 6 elements, that becomes the most suitable candidate for a proper tantric practice.
다 제부디 들레샤고 존재 가르레스나.
The reason why those 8 signs appear.
나라서 니지 감초데체. 미가 나시 나베 나시 나예 나시 지 나시 류지 나시 이지 남시제 남리시바 주제.
So we are the reason that we are born from the womb and with 6 elements. The 6 elements are namely like the of the cognitive power, the visual cognitive sensitive visual cognitive power, then the ear cognitive power, the nose cognitive power, and tongue cognitive powers, and tactile cognitive power, and mental cognitive power, and so on. We have 6 of those faculties.
조제 본부 소와 두신 두제 남시제네 본부 나제. 어디서 갈래 매버리 버도 대지le 매버리요 말. 리메 가버리.
So they all cease gradually. It does not happen instantly. It is all sequential or the gradual.
다나 말아서 온복강가 성디에 셈데 토보 세보 상로테 토보 배치 남시 이지 나시기베 더다 자와 해초 저그 남시데 토보 정보에 야요레 셈데 다콜라 누구요레 담보 사출레 티우드네레 미디어 마세지.
So all this, as it happens sequentially, that we lose all these cognitive powers sequentially. So thus, right at the present, as the faculties on which these cognitive powers are dependent are intact, are very much in a functional state. So thus, we can think and we can do all of those a lot. Whereas when they begin to become non-functional, for instance, our cognitive power of the mind, which mainly relies around our brain at the head, when it becomes almost non-functional, then we loses our ability to comprehend and so on. So that not only that, there one mind which could trace down the lots of other meaning and middle life wisdom, or our mind, middle life wisdom or the mind, which could comprehend a lot of things at a time, we lose that too.
Tene sing maro sing nyoro sing sebu yunzen ken sobala sim de be pang maro chemba yindu sing sebu zula de ma jene luge za dong ta du ju za ni na de yore liu gu ju ba song de chebje ge long yore long de su da sim yin yang de zhu gu gu yo yin za long de su pe chi ru jiang jue de su wo men na de shu yong yore.
So because of these things, the gradual non-functionality, when all these faculties which help the mind to comprehend, when they lose their function, along with these minds, they lose the ability to apprehend, and the ability of our mind loses its ability to comprehend also lessens. Our mental apprehension capability, it also lessens, and also other 72,000 of nadis, and when they loses the function and the wind flow or inside them, when they also loses their motion, then also the mind which go along with them, they also loses their capability to apprehend, and finally all the wind, when they start gathering inside the sushma, then our mind gets real subtle, and all the gross minds, they lose it. So our mind begins to weaken as the process goes through. So we lose all the ability to senses, like the senses to smell, and our ability to feel, or our ability to taste, and so on. Then we lose every one of those gradually, and they get more refined, and then we can't feel even a big pinch, and so on. Then they get subtler and subtler, and we lose them.
So we lose our breath or the wind, that as many as the two sets of the five, right? The five major and five minors, that which I may not name, and that five major and five minors, and they have their particular places in our body. For instance, like the throat, some at the heart, some at our extremities, and in all our places they're doing their regular functions. So when they all of a sudden, when they loses those spots, and then they all force out, they get out of those places, and we breathe those wind out, and then those wind they breathe out, and the subtler winds they just gather inside the sushma. Then except for the subtlest wind, which we never lose, the rest all the winds they are forced out of our body, and then we lose the breathing. sim da sejo reju reba de kosebo ra yo ma chamure ngaranzo umbu na shi zu da de rijan zinke ge semide raba rashi dire a te wol yi na shi ne sim yi ge semdele zu da de rija lammi ke ge yi ge nam shi de raba re tagin ga sar de je de
So,
다 추일라 메비 이지나시데 참으래 텔라드네 차라 지원데 차슈들 공도 제주요
so now now what we are left behind is the 80 conceptual Kundok Deju, or the 80 conceptual consciousness of the mind those are left behind. So for instance, our 5 sensory cognitions, the which are gross. Now we have already lost them. That when we have started breathing and so on, that they have become non-functional. Also the mental, at the mental level, there are 5 mental cognition which share the 5 sensual objects as their objective condition, and those have also long ceased. But what left behind now with us at this subtle point is the 80 conceptual minds of the cognition. So mental cognition. In the mental cognition, though we have lost the mental cognition, we share the 5 sensual objects as their primary condition. Those we have lost because they are gross kind of cognition. Now the subtler one, we share the Dharma as the object, or the sharing the focal object, Dharma as focal object, that remains behind, and that's, for instance, like 80 conceptual cognitions, or the mind.
다되게 무슨 다제부터 제진에 메주다보다 도와다보다 가나미 싫다 마음은 바로 나와 되는데 통계기 사가 이게 시버라버리 디젤라 차르 다 마음은 바로 나와다보들라 우체 차니 다 류라바 롱라바들라 심라바들라 차니 다 신참고 주요래 참고들 차와다 신도 차와 니요 참고들라 공도 제주고 신베 롱데 차와들이
So the earlier mind, which has apprehension, the earlier mind which has the apprehension of the mirage-like vision, smoke-like vision, and then the fireflies-like, or the next one, the undisturbed light of a undisturbed light, and so on. So all those, the mind which has the apprehension of that too has left. Now what is behind is only the subtle, very subtle mental consciousness, which is of 2 kinds, that 80 conceptual mind along with the conveyance wind, and those are only left behind, which are subtler. So that
그런 설레베 지중도 저기나 차라 숨요래 공도 제주 쉐베 롱데라
So now please get this written down. 80 conceptual mind, or the Kundo Jeju, that is the 80 conceptual mind, Kundo Jeju, and the wind which it shares as its vehicle. Those have the two in kind. They're subtle, subtler, and subtlest.
공도 제주 쉐베 롱데 차와 라바 셴도 차와 요산이 마진 셴도 차와래 레디 뇽메 롱마레 뇽메 류마레 뇽메 심마레 텔라 코론소 나시게 차라요래 나시게 차라들라 나웨 랑제게 공도 지주요래 대도서라그래 쉐베 랑제게 공도 송주 수송요래 대딜레데스 차그래 년토가 랑제게 공도 되요래 대 쉐베 롱데 텔레장 차그래다 공도 제주도 되래
So there's, as told you earlier, that wind which shares as conveyance as a conveyance by those 80 conceptual mind, there are three of them, which are subtle, subtler, and subtlest, right? And for instance, amongst 80 of them, there are 40 mind and the 40 subtle wind, which is shared as the vehicle to those 40, which has the section, which belong to section of the appearing mind. They are the grosser compared to the later. And there are the increasing mind that has 33, and the mind, the wind it shares as its vehicle, those are even subtler than that of the appearing minds. And the near attainment, which is the subtlest, that it has 7. It has 7, and the wind vehicle, wind which it shares as its vehicle, that is the subtlest.
Tedi long de rangé jeju jönbe long de hajang ge chabu yin za shen de chawa yin za kun ru de u no go de yong tu yo ma re yamba zo long ra ba de che char u che char de ko chamu chi za o me no de yong yo re.
So the wind elements, which is shared by those 80 non-conceptual, 80 conceptual mind, kundo, those 80 conceptual mind, that they are really subtle. They're so subtle that they don't breathe, they come out of the nostril, but they flow inside the central channel.
That is the long hajang be chu yu shen shu shen ba ji. Wo me no da yong de be ga la, ko le shen be sim ge le char gu de la, dong bu de ja tang sha ge. Sha gu ya ga re se na, u di che lu de zan de gang ge zhe song re. 在我们的路路恰用不人，针对那边看的买不白路的路差外因子，在我们也那里体力高不有呀的，大家看买不就嘛就用过对吗？在我们那路啊就用过的，就用这体力高不能的，你个体力干嘛看干嘛够，可就那路心肠门就的是，等我能的破吧因的，可能个心的来加汤，大家下边说不起，用过也就在体力的。
Those wind being so subtle and very inactive in movement, maybe inactive is the not really right word, but they're very weak, so very subtle. So they remained inside the central channel, and then as the regular breathing, as it has stopped, so since there's the no knots which blocks the central psychic channel, then because of that it sees the downflow of the white creative energy on the crown of one's head flowing down, which is apprehended by the appearing mind as something whitish, wishing. That's the part of the reason it apprehends that downflow of that. Each light falls on it.
That day on the commands of my sadu. I用中极了，对外那里差条去，差个条教当，马里头个条马不教的，可也用过的，可也来用一张，可当的也破呢，每个条马不给当的，你个没事别条干嘛搞，可就顶搞不好马不得破一张，这个当的什么了破呢？什么地方注意的，有没什么？ telephone malang lage angi ba cheba malang ba sha go yu de.
So then in the next the middle sequence, then it happened after the whitish apprehension, then there's the reddish, right? They're apprehending something reddish. That's because the upflow of the red creative energy which acquired from the mother, which has resided at the site of the navel, as it gradually elevates towards the indissipating drop at the center of one's heart, then one gets the apprehension of the oncoming of it. So that's part of the reason, or each light falls on the mind, and which is apprehended by it. So thus the radish.
다 용종 손에 텔마위야 용가보 마용은 혼이 니게 미시비 텔고라 갓갓베 트레니 갓드리니 미시비 텔고라마 드리오디 미시비 텔 때나 주샤버려.
So our mind which is inside that the anticipating drop, that because of fall of that radiance of the drop coming forward, the reddish is felt, redness is felt, and then both the white and red, they meet at the anticipating drop and close it up. So that is part of the reason there is a certain darkness.
Oh yeah. 다 다기 짜탕 다 통해야 돼. 맞아 레용도 텔마부도 레용도 만당도 샤용도 다 가부 통해야 통하대 라서. 텔라베고도 라제 체베 제베 konto yiju tambe shaya lungde mebare sar. Ta ya yung na mabuja kan rindu de na thong jedu chebe rangshin ke konto sunju susungpa de lungre da lungde melire sar. Tene kuni kan rini de na thong je de tene yungzong ji le tele mabu ya gong le le kabu de ma shang le le nure. Tele lu de na thong de yen nure. Na thong de mebaje na lambe jebe lung de nyarto ri jebe konto dung jebe lung yo tela ta konto lung ka la du chawe simya la lung la ne sim la gri yo mare chawe lung shen do chawe lung de la bare ta nyobe sim da lung ma du de yo mare.
So when the downward approach of that white creative energy, at that time as it is felt by the whitish, by the appearing mind, and at that time when it finishes, at that time also the near appearing mind is regal wind. We lose that at that time. And when the redness which approaches from the navel comes closer, then at that time, then when the redness, the increasing mind is vehicle, those wind, we lose that. And when all of a sudden there's darkness, and because of the merger of or encounter of that white and red together at the heart, and then there's certain change in the position. The white comes down and red goes up, and suddenly there's a shake in that anticipating drop, and upon which that the sense of vacuity, and out of that darkness, at that time the vehicle which is shared by those three kinds of mind, they all have lost. We have lost every one of them. Then there's sense of the vacuity.
So
that time all the vehicle of those 80 have left, and now only thing left behind is the subtlest mind and east wind. And are we dead yet? No, they're still in the vacuity.
That Dongsang Shadia Simjiorwa, Dongsang Zinking Simjiorwa, the Nyome Simri, Simku Jamba Jordan, the Nyome Lungri, Lunda Sini Chalendugo, Simri Lungri Shanduri.
So that the mind which sees the vacuity, that mind is the subtlest mind, and the wind which is shared by it is our subtlest mind. So subtlest wind. In short, a wind accompanies mind accompanies a wind as for means of transportation for that.
That's not simple Zilu Della. Migi na shida, Nave na shigi, Yuzu Dratrinilla, Tumu Hojaver. Mida Nave Nashin, Yuda Mate Sun Gentu Jori. Me Taring is with Tungu Nave Taring Dai Go do Jori. Nada Jed on Lugina Shi Sun, Yuda Chewu Jori. Uyama Hubatu Jimako Mendu. Lula Matu Batu, Haku Mendu. Jigong the Mali Batu Haku Mendus. Naji Lugina Shi Sun, Yuda Chen Zingu. Mida Nave Nashin, Yuda Matevan Ziba Jori.
So it is said the way we apprehend the object for visual object and audio object, that there's no necessary the encounter or the direct encounter of the object and subject is not necessary, because that without the direct encounter of the subject and object, we could still come apprehend the object. For instance, we can see the sights at a distance and hear the sound at a distance. Whereas in case of the three later, like the smell, taste, and touch, that the apprehension of the object has to be through the encounter with the object. So,
Mida Nave Nashi Yuda Macheban Zembare, Nada Jedo Lusu, Sube Gendo, Macheba Legendo, Yuda Chen Zimure.
So, as this quote goes, that for the visual and audio, that they can apprehend the object without the direct contact with the object, whereas for the later three, for the smell, taste, and touch or tactile, the contact has to be there to apprehend that object.
Jun Chimunagi Gesha Redi, Pecha Junja Chisa Redi, Mishaya Yomarua, Shembaduata, Pecha Tajuma Judio. So, Tani Shingriwa, Kangalogechi. Yuda Mate, Sun Jendo, Uni Yamar Zema de Ejavarta. Sun Jendo, Uni Yamar Zema de Sumbude, Nada Cheta Lu Sumbude. Yuda Chen said, Yuni Yamar Zema de Sud, Tayantan Sakashayu. This Sumbu Digi, Yu Chichung and Zingaresan, Umu Duda, Yugu Duni, Chichung Younger Ejor. No one do it on Chilo Trinia, but Chichung Yamachin Zingari. They are the Trident Nogu Nolu Lake and Moton Zingayo Mare, so Nogu Nolu do the Kunichon Yawari. Jet Gal Rodine, Robert Chilo. Chi Karina Ganzube Kalashimurabu Kumakayoni, Chi Gole Leva de Madon Zingumari, Chaza Chiga, Chia, Chi de Jan Tagan Zingumari, Sena Roda Chi, Ombunibu, Chichun Yamachin Zimbais. Luinet, Lugon Kava, Rigun, Risakatu Zingari, Rija, you Rija Duda, you Ombudu, Chichun Yamachin Zingari.
So it is said, like though it is a quote from one of the great treatises, but that we should explore, right? We are all the right to explore, and we should try to study them. For instance, it's said that for the visual and audio, no direct contact is necessary to apprehend, whereas in case of the three others, the nose, tongue, and the skin or tactile, that has to be a direct contact. And how do we apprehend that? It says that the content, elements, and particles of the cognitive power and what we taste, the object, they should be of equal amount. Then that is experience, equal amount. For instance, there could be large amount of food in a container, but what we actually taste of that food is what we, among number of the food we place on the tongue, we taste only that much of the elements which are in direct contact with that cognitive power, right? With that cognitive power and object, the elements which are directly in contact to the equal amount of the object, atom equal amount to the content and the cognitive power in being of the equal amount, then that much is experience. So it is gradual. So thus, that even though we have large portion of food in a container, but it all has to be experienced one at a time, they're equal to the amount of the cognitive power of that consciousness of cognitive power to enjoy at a time. The equal amount in terms of atom, it says. So, as you see, that when touch, you only feel at the place where it is touched.
다 소리 유다 마체 제바 있다도 유다 마체 소 옌도 체체 냠버 제바도 수도 냠버 제바 있어 됐어도 다 코니게 메냠버 제바도 고고래 미 춘주지게서 전부 동의요래 베르제들도 동의요래 안저 춘주지게 드라포라제들도 고고요래 제가 지중량과 말에 어디서 간거로 이 봉한지식은 루당을 신고를 야부지나 또 수수수고를 위함이 나와 다진다 버지 요야 동다 거리 자는 마셔봐 아니 좀 전부 비차지 차사가사 매제린 조리 공카지 좀 신경이 너도 제배 배야요 말이
So like for instance as said that in the case of those three that we experience just the equal amount of the subjective cognitive power and objective that whatever we take in, the equal in amount of their particles, that much is experienced, not more or not less. They have to be of the equal proportion in the particles of the atom, right? Whereas in case of the two earlier, that is, which meant visual and audio, that kind of equalness in the sides of the subject and object is not necessary, since I can see a huge mountains at a time, or a small ear can hear a very loud sound at a time, and many sound at a time. So they're unequal in terms of subject and object. In the visual and audio is not necessary. Now what I meant to say here is that it is very important for us to be informed more about our own body and how we function, that before we step into the harder parts of life, the Kerim and Dogrim and so on, that how we really work, how our base really work, then that becomes very important. Otherwise, if we talk of something unreachable or something which is something beyond us, but if we remain ignorant about our own self, and that would not make much sense.
다 미게 존재 나의 잔지 나의 지지 로 루지 리젠제 유수수수수지 말이 예마쟁 말이 이 남시 되게 유 주자는 생그래 샘기다 강걸로 신그래 저는 이 남시데 유 주게 유제래.
So five sensual cognitive powers, the five sensual cognitions, five sensory cognitions, they have ability to cognize only their respective objects, whereas the mental cognition cognize the all six objects, all the six. So mind cognizes all, whereas the sensory cognitions, they cognize only their respective objects.
다 신도도자네 되게 가베고 라링이 막 가고 말이야. 동부 사출에 되는데 미르리 재미세부 차고 말이야. 대산에 좀멜에 되는데 소요 뭐가 소 니로 넘겨서가 미 사출 되는 전에 미게 나시가 차 소화가 미 수지 부모가 차니 소화가 그래. 소화가도 류럽에 지거리 제자네 왜 차정 그 리전도보다 되게 메뉴도 소화가 노래. 근데 인자 오래다 주셔 먹고 들으라고 시험에 제가 요쇼.
So
시장고 그래 고추를 스타리 알리 뭐지.
So I was just going to explain about how feelings and those things we cease how they cease at the time of death. But I already made a point earlier that I won't be discussing about the dissolution of the 25 gross ones. So I'll stick to that decision, and we're not going to discuss it this time.
다시 심 생애인데 가리어서는 심그 유신그 요리. 유가리나 신그 요리. 라랑 수수 유디 신그래. 미게 나시게 소싱그레 나베 나시 다싱그레 나에 나시 드신 이 나시 슈 강다 강싱그레 레디 심든 러싱거요 말이 고 시바리 콜라 강원 메라거드메 판두스루 싱거요 말이 롱든 러싱거요 롱르와 롱르와 롱르 싱거요 롱그레 조레 조이자 코 유싱거요 말이 조지 싱거 말와 자자 왜 롱든 러싱바 임발라 유하고 오케데 롱하게 소르들
So our mind, like the sensory cognition, they, as you know, that they have the ability, their power or their ability to comprehend their respective objects. For instance, they can smell, they can touch, and they can feel. Whereas mental cognition that can comprehend or apprehend all the objects around, and they can understand and do everything. But it can't move around. It does not have a movement. Whereas the wind, it has the motility. It has the ability to move, but it is dumb, that it can't comprehend because it is a form. A form can't apprehend a form.
This one. 세브게 수 싱기요레 로마 샴바인자 미세보 요케 강과 샤리가 소리지레 고마 보주메니 미다에도 보메지.
So mind, it is very clear that it can apprehend the objects and so on, but he is very much like a person without legs, but with a very fine sights.
롱든 러싱기요레 그 루하고 요 싱기요 말고 그 소리. 산 러시아마 이면 유마 샴바 이드 왜 강과 당당 야보 요케 롱의 지그스로 지고.
So where's the wind that it does not know the object, since being itself a form. That since being itself a form, that it has no ability to cognize, but it has the motion that it can move around. As I told you, he is like a blind.
다 롱어 강데 되게 샤우미데 되 케위나 미요케 되 게바코 고 강과 되게 뽀로 샤우디 미다 데바루고 슬럭 그데 케 루기나 한 샤우디 미 여게 미다 그때 고마요면 누구 제나 미지 그 쇼고요 엔체로 바에로 가이 미다 되 케니 강가 셴투요.
So if the merger of those two, if they accompany with each other, they are blind without a very strong leg without sight, a person with the sight but without legs. And if they accompany with each other, and if the with sight would write on that person without any sight, and if they work together as a partner, then if that man with sight gives the direction, and if that other one takes along the line or start moving, then they can get places.
다 시바데 미 윤제 셴바데 로마셰 롱도 로셴바데 윤제 셴바 인자 시베 셴바데 롱셰 롱도 시바니 모지바제 가바 롱게 케 유디 시바데 긴지 제자 롱다 시바니 롱다 스미 조바지 용고야 자와 대토거래.
So the wind lacks the ability to apprehend, whereas the mind lacks the ability to move. But yet they have the same jukpa, the entry, same thing to follow. So by merger of those two on the right track,
고제가 고도 자나라 미데지 세다 텔라롱 베싱게 베랑게 세다 슈바 나지 고데도 어고사들 심슈도 롱슈레오 롱슈자한테 롱 오마나라 슈도야도 강가 내가 되게 위어다 제가 롱신 조바지 임베네데 되래.
For that reason, when we visualize our focal object inside our channels and concentrate on it, and have our mind single-pointedly have it there. They have our mind single-pointedly inside that visualized object. Then since the wind and the mind share the same jukpa or the entry, then because of that virtue of the presence of mind just there, the wind also starts flowing right there.
다 제바 의세 가도 레디바 의세 데라 심 뇨메 심 지코 토마메바네 요케게 심디제 다 코요 사도 롱요 거리 뇨메 롱도 뇨메 심 오지데바디 다 단단가라수 니게 너 미시비 듣나 내요고 요리도 코베 심라버스고 유리데자 코자 윤진 두고요 말 코시도 미세와디레 대자 신세버스고 윤진데디 공어고요 말이 So the that mind which it apprehends that vacuity, now which is our subtlest mind, right? The reason why it doesn't at the present time as it doesn't work is because like it's so weak inside that all other the gross mind they are in so functional and active that just like our inability to see stars during the bright sunlight, we don't see the star during the day. In the same way that it remains obscure, remains absolutely weak or not weak, obscure inside us, so it doesn't come apparent. And at that time, since we have lost our gross mind gradually, one after another, so since our gross sense of cognitions left us one after another, so that at that time it became apparent for our opportune time. 단예도 나통 제야데 니게 미시베 tilgala 카마부 야이고 가부 마요 카디데바데 카친로 카친 마부 야지 가부 마친도도 다 네레 나통도데 상수 예도 요마레 데메바 이자다 심뇽시 고르마도 메디 다 코인지 유마지 카메레 다 콜로 동사사 샤그레 다 디릴베 동사사 샤네 배 요리도 가제 되기는 네바 요마레 미치부 메타메바 시게이네 가시샤부 송제리를 의셀 되기요레 의셀 되요베 가라 아니 르드크기 요마레 zu글 tima 요마레 차바치살 자자네 롤 tima 요마레.
So when they are a white spot and the red creative energy, white creative energy, when they have met each other at the anticipating drop at the center of our heart, then we felt darkness, right? Dark apprehension by the near attainment mind. And moment they lost the position, when they were shifted in the position of the white one going down and red one up, and when there was sudden change, then there was vacuity. Then as the only mind left behind is the subtlest mind, then there was no choice for it but to apprehend that vacuity, since it is the only mind left behind. So it apprehends that vacuity, and it's for a higher practitioner, they stay in that state for about 3 days and so on.
다 지rin게 거서 쳐주고람 체도고데 고나 신시어다 준신거 여바 마시 대공원에 의세가 봐도 야보 공자바도 장수나 또바 토모게 마주네 시대 신도데 뭐지 저러잖아 다야식도 사다데 사출하면 미주레 당아 또 삼배 의세디 야보 공원 삼배 상로데 동게잖아 아니 의세가 걸 동상 용매고도 아니 내가 지금 이시 동네 공부 대동 공토는 저래 마토는 동네 지상로 거기나 동네 스토어에 샤드 요이자 뭐 남선 처비요래 그래서 동네 또 용고요래 저 요새 그 동네 또 현자도 동네 또 남선 내가 냐바샤 되네 샤브지니 소로 나도 주던라고 되는 냐바샤 요새 장네 어다 요새 그 장네 내 손도 면도 다 쉬어버리다 제가 지금 하주에 대지는 루지마 다 쉬어버려 그거대요. 다들 제리 야구지 많토네 내려라 고야 되더래.
So Uh, at this time, like for instance, that in our daily practice, right, that in our regular practices, we do those which looks resemblance, right, as a resemblance with the actual happening during the time of during death process, and resemblance with the death processes we did during our caring practices. So if we are well trained in it and well oriented, then we could remind ourselves at the actual happening of death on ourselves and could bring ourselves to orientation to remind ourselves of the forthcoming or what is ahead, and could allow ourselves or provide a chance to remain at that vacuity to be able to see that as the empty of inherent existence, and if so, then if possible, accompanied by the great bliss, which will be the most wonderful. If not, then at least to stay in the state of the emptiness and try to understand the lack of inherent existence at that time, and then stay in that state for a few days or so on. Then if we could motor, which means orientation, or direct orientation into the emptiness, if you could do that, then it's assured that we will be born in a proper place for the next life, if best for the most suitable for the further Tantra practices and so on. Such is the benefit.
Ani shiva kudu zana jiva chang pado le pado mushen pado yongde yo mare pado le lagu dang togure lagu ngone dang ma to ne yengu le dang togure jiva lembe ko le kha jebe de susu kang dang be susu jiva dang ju yo.
So if we become very competent in our practices, and at that time we may be able to apprehend on those emptiness and so on. Also in the bardo, that we can appear ourselves in the form of the deity, that if not in actuality, but at least at the yingo or the mental level, that at the mental level that we can appear as deity, and also we can choose our birth.
Gashani, Gasunu Rumugoje, Chivale, Chivade, Susu, Meluto, Teto and Game Bashagi, Kantube, Lamataya Chigre, Sunyale and Dilebe, Shitagi Yaga Yumuri, Chiva Ribura Amatoba Chigi Tabaturi. The Dama Regina, Chiva Sam Jedo Lanibe, Delay Jaga Yumuri. Tanonia Goro, Juan, and Lamatrubeco Yumuri, what?
So,
Ani Tano delay Chunani, Chujo Leni Mandune, Tabakashi Shikandune, Cho Seku Duchore, Padumaru Kundu, Padudroni and Ruchore. They never remember not so Chiojura, Dilania Uchena, Tanyani Chotu Jobachana, Jerina Zorin Gone, Sanjeru.
So, if we have done the practice, the very proper practice, and then at that time, such things we can make provide ourselves with such an opportunity at those times, and all like from the state of Bhakti, we can even choose our own birth, that knowingly we can take a birth somewhere where we would like to, or even come as a great reincarnation, that all of those things we can have. And at the best, we can, if we choose to go to the Tabakajishin or the Kaja land, one could go while one is at the state of the clear light, or one could go to Kaja land while one is in the Bharata state, and so on. So.
Ta padu tuju yodon tamempa padu tuni nga nyale me kenyi na ta cheba uwe tela shabu chi yin songze degre dere tamempa ina tongpa nyengo chogo maare jangre ta kanyi ne 제와 외세된 가바다 아니 심디 첼로르네 로 부모님을 어디 빠바 삼네 남시도 통용하다 봐도 조용하래.
So now for those who have not done such a practice for ordinary person, then that after that, when mind after the clear light, then mind just leaves from between the skin, then mind or consciousness leaves.
치외 세번 가봐도 세번 봐도 조바니도 되냐면 당연히 치세 단다 외세돼야 돼 치세 치외 세번 시야게 세번들이 된 가로와다 배 세번데 조바다 봐도 레레 봐니부터 버루자니요 말에 치세 가봐도 봐도 조용 그래.
See, the death existence, chi in Tibetan, chi and si, death existence and perceive.
아니 요나 시시 세번 지스요래. 거기 지세바 치시 발시 지시 스지레스.
So, the death existence and Bhava existence, the moment that ceases, that next moment is the Bhava existence. There's no in between. They are of the same continuity. Okay, that moment the death existence ceases, there is the Bhava existence.
세바 코아 스기도아 세바 코아 진짜 세바 되나?
So Sipa, as I'm talking here, existence. Now this is of four kind, as we say, death existence, Bhava existence, then the birth existence, and the prior existence. The prior existence. There are four kinds of existence, right?
다 세바 지게 되나를 위해 바나 밀레 아메 코반 지게질 차잖아. 아메 코반을 밤은 코산 리만을 남시디 쇼바다 그 지세리 지베세바.
So if I were to explain on those four existence, the moment our consciousness joins the at conception, the egg and sperm, that is the birth existence. At that time we have taken a birth.
지니 좀바지게 아메 코바다 처리 마첼로나 제 보고 추주제 다르고제 겐고제 가르제도 맞이 미세시부 모두 지세버리.
So from the birth, from that moment, that then the stages as fetus or fetus, as gradual growth in the state of fetus, and then birth, childhood, then adulthood, and so on, then the prime and so on, and adulthood. All those things, whichever way we may choose to define, but that is the prior existence. Prior existence.
당거두지 세바제는 메제 바신도도 신에다다 의세데 가다 봐도 마루고 봐대라 의세데 마샤바도 거두지 세바 신바 요지마 태용의 의세 동성의 샤용의 치세리.
So from that conception till to the appearance of the vacuity or the clear light, that is the prior existence, and that clear light state is the dead existence.
다 의세된 가로와다 봐도 조용하래. 봐도 조용해서 봐 아메 코바달라 배 나시 마유 버루들 바세리.
And the right after the cessation of the death, the vacuity or the clear light, that existence is the Bhava existence, and until he joins a conception, egg and sperm, that is the Bhava state or the Bhava existence.
진짜 세바 지버루 요말 지질 투가 비에베 아니 데코르고 되버려 맞아.
So these four states or the four existence, so that they have no breaks in between. There's no break in between, because that's what we have been in the cycle of those four states or the four existence, one after another.
당 알아서 제 기어도체 정바도 베냐렌지 제케이네 시도 야고 전에 베 다데시아바지 뭐 쳐버리지 용거래. Tene member Dibashada Sa de Kini Shirajo, Narjo Travu, Nasa Dubu, the other Anamado Chesan de Demeba, Lamagujo at Hemishe, Tension at Hemeto, to Jumbe Chiduchi, Chego Sambayoni, Love Meto, the Regabe Shidan Dubu, Kandari Invasion to do that, Pasi Truyundu, Pasi Kalelewa Takapadu, Truyuma Takabe, Zugu Yunzore. Bengoda Zugutang by Chang Samasa, me, the Amjoda Kangabe, by Chansanchi Truyu, Melam will you know, Nico said the Melan Toyo, Melam de la Calais, Calais, Mimugo, Lamsanta Zuguchi, Oda, Lungulu, Dana Baseva Lungulu, by Umbuko Sawa, by something of the Truyu.
So, now at the present time, one who's really, that one who can't think of anything virtuous, or ignore, or rather choose not to do or think about any of those virtues, or remain in a state of denial, or so on, or even though one wanted to do something virtuous, one does not quite know that what is virtuous and so on, so thus involving all the time in negativities and so on. At the time of death, that are very painful and hard death as such, could become a reality or will be a reality, right? And even though one wants to think of something positive, that one does not know what kind of positive thing one could turn or think, or even though one could have some coach or to think something positive, one can't. Simply one does not have the, under the pressure of something, one can't think about it. And
Zugu Yuzu Yori, the Kadiji Yorisana, Chitang me about the Tamabati in Samba Jobo Yori, Jolang Lanchiori. Shio Haku Mare, Shinuguyaba, Shitarima Haku Yomari, Pechiki, Rizungi Shingri, Chibutan Basotang Arazube, more troubles with Shingri. The man is Shingi Yomari, in a similar Jobu Jolang Holland.
So, at the Bhagavad state, then while one is in the Bhagavad state, the kind of body which he shares is like kind of body which we dream, like in the dream, which is like the winged body. We say winged body, that which is very subtle and which is very subtle and so on. And for instance, like the human who is in Bhagavad, that his kind of mind is always in a very sad state, in a very state of very great sadness.
Padu Zugula Sha Cha Ruba Baba Siaduba Zatan Juba Siadubu Kake Yomari.
The for body of the Bhagavad being, there's no skin, flesh, bone, or none of those things as such.
So,
so since he does not have any one of those, as a food, that smell is more like smell is one he lives on.
Zugula Shara Rubaso Mesa, Jigo, Yomareda, Lungulu Inza, Kabadrujane, Talatabu, Gondrujane, Kongo Gijitaya Yomare, Kongjis Lea Yomare.
There is no weight, since it is a very light of the wind and leaves no print on the ground and could pass over anything, since because of subtlety.
Susu Pama Pinja Pugu, Togu, Sundachi Nomi, Gadachione, Tizala Koyuri. So Tunguyori, Tunguyori, Pakama Daza, and Kadagam, and all the trading to Sanbes, Lopamishibuchane, Duguyori.
Comes around one's family members, like parents and spouses and children and so on. But since because of subtlety of the personal body that nobody sees, and he concludes that they could be upset or have offended them, or they.
And Kawaji never chill, Samba Sanga Lenuke, Kawainsa Lenuke, but Kandru Diru Kali Nile Samba Tende make, similar Kawat and this a lady.
And ability to reach anywhere he think of, that anything he think of, he is right able to reach there or get there. So he's everywhere.
Chansani be medo tachi jiru kumaya buru direle no jewuru dire sale leviora ship chile de ma imba chile be shena longo ya de leviore.
So sometimes in the beautiful places of garden, sometimes on a most dreadful places or scary.
Nazu lula long juju or long de salon melon chulon yordan long joyore. Te jeng maramsole be chiji nyanya de chore ko long jo lo sore. Long jo lo be yinza salon lo be jenge sam sam be sak be chaba bawa de ke ba chmu de yo de bu be rinyi yo de de be jita be jina chmu yore.
Salon jo
Salon lo sa sai long. So,
in our case, we have the last portion of the earth elements and so on, whereas in his case, as being lack of those or the order of those, then sometimes he feels that trapped under a big landslides and so on, or caught in a big landslides.
Chui balung tradu chube nala tsui nruwa, chule saba nruwa, jatsu chimbu nala lung nruwa nruwa, chugu udra chebe, chugu gebe ke chimbu jani, tende gebe shenan shivu yore.
Times of feeling being caught within the waves of the ocean or the river and so on, in the currents, and immense or very fearful.
Sansan memba yunga shina chimbu de rile memba treatba me chimbu shibu ke mege tsara do oda tuba zanga be ni ge de go me chimbu ba yune mege ji de tsuba ro de ge shina yore.
Times of fear that that one is caught in the middle of the fire, forest fire, or the sounds given, a sound produced, which the sound itself could tear your heart apart. That kind of the fearness that overcomes him.
Sansan labaja lung kirro, gebe luna telunja lababa shibuja lung kirro be banana le janro de ge jiba chimbu yore.
Times being carried away by the currents of the wind and wind all over and just tossed up and down in the space. There's such a fear experience. So, as it says, there are four kinds of great fears. The four kinds of great fears of the natural elements. The four fearful sounds of the elements. Four fearful, dreading sounds of the elements. Those are the sounds upon the hearing itself, they're so terrifying which could tear the heart apart. Three abysses that into which a brother being could fall. The three abysses or the precipice here, the precipice of the three lower realms.
Oda dendeni donge nyangwa de pe choge. Ta ara zunga ne tane gwe de jangba yu khenji yin pa de chuna le ngu do no kunjo chen sing re la gong sing re chuna yin ba sing re chuna yin na melam na je yi melam do memba wa da chu yi se ba da be sheme se ba de de chu she gu ya me a sam ba chuna pa do le ding yo ba de chuna chu gi ga din re ma do shen no so le yo re me ta she yo ma re on chi chu yo ma re.
So such a trunam or the erroneous or the hallucinatory or the erroneous true as appearance or perceptions are shared by the other beings, and only those who we could save ourselves with the proper knowledge into the teachings, and we could and if we train ourselves in the teachings properly, that only could help us, because at that time we can realize that just as such things happens in a regular dream in which I'm not really tortured, but I feel being tortured, that though there's no butcher who is going to butcher me, but sometimes I dream of butchers. And with some kind of confidence one gains, right? Confidence to compare that with being like a dream, or being an hallucination, or being just an erroneous perception. So thus that one could gain a thing or confidence over that. And at the best, one could think or take refuge and meditate on the meditation deity and so on to overcome that. And such will become possible only through the teachings. Otherwise, that they, in such a situation, that one's power and wealth and nothing works, but everybody goes equally through that.
Tsāngsāni gāgu yāyā yōre, ān zōngzōni shēnjī jibu tīrē lēwōni, kādōng dēki, chīwa tsī dēki, mīsā māngbō, gāshē rāgō yōngi, dzību, tā māni lē tīrē lā na tsōngshā kī yō, jō tā jō, sō tā sō, bē sēyā gē chīmbu dō, gē bē nī gē guyā gē na, gē lō chīmbu jā nē, dē yōng dō tīrē shēnāng yōre.
So times also, of course, one running into very good times, very comfortable and so on. Again, times that being chased by the host of the Yama, that who looks so scary, that with their eyes bulging with the redness around and staring, and with the giving all the sounds of, like, for instance, snatch, kill, and so on, that the sound itself could knock out.
Tatewa padu tuju singe pecha chiwa, tena mambu shira sayo re. Pechiri denga maare de toz da denba yo, padu tuju de deme toz da shayo re, sungu yo re. Yen ingre tena be jawar inga jaya nabu, nama nonze jaya nabu, kenza tila yo re. Tuju mashi kongla de nibe, suwa tab nubatu, chaze kuju che choba shan nubatu nama nonze ma jeba, paduka ledu nama nonze jang jega ayo niti. Ine tena la, kashi tenpa yore, taki ne kenza yore. Tali padu naja tiga zindiga.
So in the, like the Padu Töre or the Tibetan Book of Death, as you have heard, that that there are some which are quite true, and it is said that there are lots of additions to that too. And if you just read through, you might find some of those very informative, and they are true too. But at some points, as it talks about the encounter with 5 Dhyana Buddhas or the Asobya and so on, then while we are alive and sit down and meditate and compose ourselves and try to have an encounter with Bhairocana, or when that does not happen, it will be really much harder for us to that happen in such a bad state.
Padu odun ruwa kudu godan ruwa maare. Suzu kaba san ziban de kaba toja ya maare, kadu odun ruja kare.
So for a Badu being that he does not need the door to go out, he can just get out from anywhere, from the walls or the roof.
Ta suna yu ken yina ni Padu la chuna shibarang yo maare. Chiwa songi re. Tā ngā rā sōmi kuñchō tūjū sō tāp tēngi chī yīnda nī pādū chūnā yuwa tā kā lā mē tā ngā chēn tōpa chū na pādū ngē rū tā rū kēn chī kī chū tī yuwa nī tī kā rī kī yāng tī rū tī yā rū yā rū tī rē yuwa rē.
So, if one is of a very poor saving of the merits he has, or accumulations of merit to back him up, of course it will be hard. But if one has a huge accumulations of merits and so on, then meritorious, then at that time one could remember the instructions of teachings and so on, and even though one could have already had a bardo to be born in lower realm, there could be certain changes, and one could get a better reboot or better barco.
야, 다 제와 뒤지 시 아니 지린 거지 시자로 다 알리 고상이나 그걸 상지.
Please have a short break.